This is a Zerg versus Terran I just played recently on the ladder. So, see there I spawned against random actually. I don't know what my opponent has for their race when it starts out. I just do a normal build where I go hatch first because I haven't been seeing a lot of cheese on the ladder recently. And I figure, okay, well, this build can defend some cheeses anyway, and if I don't get cheesed, then I'm not going to be way behind economically because I'll be doing my normal build. I do try to keep an eye to see what my opponent is doing, so if we look at my vision here, I try to catch what they are. I saw that their worker had moved by but not caught it. There we go, I caught that it's an SCV, so I know I'm playing against Terran. This build is completely fine against Terran if they're not doing something like a bunker rush, which I did see one within the last couple weeks, but I've seen a lot more just macro play. So I start here with the plan to do my Hydra Baneling build, but it ends up getting changed a little bit when I see what my opponent is doing. Okay, we can put this back to normal game speed. So we get over here. My opponent does not have a base up yet. That's not completely unusual because I would like to see if they're building it on their high ground, because that is a thing you can do against Zerg as Terran, is you build your command center on the high ground so it doesn't get rushed by Zerglings. You don't keep losing your SCV that's building it. I have the best time on this map because I out-juke the Marine there like every time. It's ridiculous. My slow Overlord gets into the main. It's amazing. But I get up here and I go, okay, they're trading around some buildings, but I don't see a command center. Okay, they're going to be attacking me. So they're building some add-ons. Oh, I need to unselect. I need to back up and see if I actually clicked on the thing to see what they were building. Okay. Make sure I didn't have this selection as an observer overriding what my selection was as a player here at the bottom, so I can see if I actually clicked on what they're building. It's a habit I'm trying to get into because it just lets you know more about what's going on. No, I didn't catch if that was a tech lab or a reactor. I think it's a reactor. Okay, well, they're going to be attacking me, so I make a Roach Warren. Can do that or the Baneling Nest. Roaches are a little bit easier to control. So I go ahead and just make some Roaches. Go ahead and immediately make a Roach Warren. This is a decision I made a couple weeks ago when I had decided to... I had that game where I made a Baneling Nest and then cancel it and made a Roach Warren. I said, okay, instead I'm just going to make the Roach Warren right away. So I'm not spending a whole bunch of time hemming and hawing. I'm just making the decision and going with it. I get Overlord speed here because I want to follow up and try to see what my opponent is doing. I've been trying to do this with the second 100 gas, but I'm not always remembering it. Did put the evolution chamber down at the front in case I need to start a wall with it. Took the queens down there. This looked like it could be one of those things they do with a Hellion Cyclone attack that I've been seeing sometimes on the ladder, so the more advanced warning I have, the better. Queens are great against it. I'm going to get +1 armor as soon as my evolution chamber is done, because armor is amazing against the Cyclones. Start up the third base because I haven't seen the attack yet. I need enough production anyway. Ideally, I would maybe have sent those Zerglings sooner to see what's going on. But I have been sending my Overlords when I make them around the map to spot things, so that's at least a plus. Get over here. Okay, still no base here. The back base in this map only has half the normal number of minerals at it, unless they've changed that since the last time I played it. Yeah, only 4 mineral patches there. See, oh, okay, so they did land their command center here, but this is still going to be some kind of cheese, or early attack at least. I see, oh hey, there's the Cyclones and the Hellions I was thinking might be coming. So I pull my forces back, and I know I have to defend at home. Don't want to just lose my worker line to something dumb. I'm still hotkeying from the eggs, so you see I still have my all army selection unbound here to make sure I'm really hotkeying things. Getting a lot better at that actually, which is great. Maybe I can eventually rebind the army key, because there are occasional times you want that as Zerg, but you want to make it not your habit to always use it. Okay, my +1 armor is getting pretty close to done. I've also turned on the notifications when everything's complete, because you can actually learn more information during the game if you're paying attention there.
A new queen has emerged.
So I'm still waiting for this attack, because what my opponent's doing, I'm either so far ahead of them economically that I can just go over and completely steamroll them, or they're getting a really large army that's going to be here and I need to defend it. So there's no point to me moving out based on what I've seen my opponent doing. So I'm waiting for Roach speed so I can actually be on the map and not just be unable to get back to defend if I need to. Just completely on this Roaches plan. Because it was just taking too long to get to Hydralisks when my opponent was doing something too aggressive. It looks like I would have been able to get there this game. But also, diversifying your army so they're not all light units is good against Hellions. It's potentially good against Thors.
Your forces are taking damage.
And Roaches are a little bit more tanky. They don't just evaporate immediately. They're not nearly the damage output of a Hydralisk, but that's okay. So I do clear the rocks toward my opponent's base, out in the middle of the map there, because I want my units to be able to get over there quickly and efficiently, not have to go through all those pathing blockers that this map has in the middle.
Evolution complete.
I don't actually need a fourth base for the gas or anything. So my opponent's hunting down my overlords with a Viking. I don't really react to it very much, which is not quite ideal, but also not the worst thing, because I'm still keeping a lot of vision, and it's only a single Viking, so it takes a long time to clear the overlords. See here, though, that I'm not producing out of my hatcheries all the time, sitting there with that queen with not making larvae for a really long time. I do, before the attack at least, go back and, hey, did I hit my injects? That's always the thing you want to do as Zerg. Before you go attack, you make sure your injects are hit, so that way your reinforcements can arrive. I want the Ravagers here to take out any siege tanks, stuff like that. The good thing about this army is I saw some Widow Mines, and Widow Mines don't one-shot anything in this army, whereas with Hydralisks and Zerglings, they either one-shot or deal very high damage to those units. So they either kill them or almost kill them, but Roaches can take a few mine hits and be fine. It's a little bit bad that I fought so in the choke right here, but at the same time, Roaches are really, really tanky. Get up here on top of the siege tanks. This is what I really wanted the Ravagers for, although I don't think I do the best job of hitting them with the Biles. I just get on top of them with the tanks. So I use the Biles to clear the SCVs instead. Get up here, see, oh, this one looks like it's turning into a planetary. Better target that one down before it's a problem. But you can see my large swell of army coming across the map now, too, on the mini-map there. Because I actually hit my injects, so I had a large number of larvae available to actually reinforce this. Ideally, I should go back right now and be hitting injects for the next round of Army 2. I got so much army there and still have so much left over that I realize, oh hey, I should oh good, I do go back in the middle of the one and realize this. But I realized I had so much army, I just keep making army and rallying it across the map. It's easy to rally it across the map too because of how I'm hotkeying from the eggs now. So my opponent ends up leaving the game after saying that this was a cheese and they got lazy. I don't know if you can really cheese someone when you have 70 workers. 62. What is... Okay, I mean, it's 45 workers. So, that's, I guess, somewhat fair. It's not like I had the economy at 10 minutes to really go and have any sort of transition out of this, although I am making bases. So if I had not done this crushing amount of damage here, it would have been, instead of all these army units I just made, I would have just made another probably 30 workers. So that's why I was thinking in my head after this game. I thought, oh, I had 70 workers that game, but that's only because my plan here was to get up and pressure my opponent to build workers behind it. But I saw my attack went so well, I ended up making a bunch more army instead.